Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm gonna make a video where I will show the books on the Folio Society site as they are currently available to buy. I'm gonna talk about my favorite editions. I'm gonna talk about them in terms of the production quality and what I like about the editions. So I'm gonna go through some of the books on the Folio Society site that are my favorites, and I either own these books or I have owned these books. So let's begin. We start off with the bestseller, Dune, by Frank Herbert. This is one of the first Folio Society books that I bought. It's what got me into buying Folio Society books. It is still a fantastic book. That is probably the best Dune book that you can get that is not a limited edition. It's illustrated by Sam Weber, has some amazing illustrations, and overall you can't really get better editions of Dune from any other publisher that I've found, at least. So this is a perfect edition for those of you who are want to read Dune or that are big fans of the novel by Frank Herbert. I do wish that Folio Society would perhaps publish the second and third book in the series, like Dune Messiah or something, maybe even more, but let's at least start with those first three books. That would have been awesome, especially when the second part of the Dune movie is coming. If they made a Dune Messiah book, that would have been amazing to continue this series with Sam Webb as the illustrator. I can really hope, but let's see what they do. But Dune is one of the books here on the site that is never bound to run out of print either, because it's so popular, but it's also never gonna go on sale pretty much. So yeah, but Dune, fantastic book. Next up we have Japanese Tales. This is a fine edition. It has very nice cloth binding. It's translated by Royal Tyler. It contains a lot of folklore and mythology of Japan. So if you're interested in that, it's a great book. It has some really nice art by Yuko Shimizu also. So this is another book that I can totally recommend on the Folio Society, and it's a bit cheaper than Dune also. Next up we have the Master Margarita. This is like a cult classic from the Folio Society. It was out of print for a long time. It came back, and yeah, it's a great book. I own this book, but I don't do now because I didn't really like the story and the writing. I mean, the writing was good, but I wasn't really into the book when I was reading it, The Master Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. So I decided to sell the book. I still own the Everyman's Library edition. It's translated by Richard Pevier and Larissa Volkonsky, and it has some fantastic illustrations by Peter Stewart, which are very complex and very unique. And the binding design is also great. We can check out some of the illustrations here. So yeah, The Master Margarita, another great book that Folio Society is offering right now. Then we have Outlaws of the March, the Water Margin, one of the Chinese classics. This is another fine edition. It's I think it's it's 3/4 bound in blocked art silk with the cloth boards. 2 volumes, and it's filled with illustrations, 141 in total, so you can't go wrong with this one. Yeah, a great book by the Folio Society here. Although the price is a bit hefty, I think this one might come on sale in the future, so look out for that if you want to get it. Next up we have one of my favorite contemporary authors. We have Haruki Murakami. I was so happy when they decided to release this book, Kafka on the Shore. I had been emailing the Folio Society about making Haruki Murakami books, and I'm so glad that they decided to do it. The price is pretty good. It's cheaper than Dune. It has amazing illustrations by Daniel Liovano. Yeah, you can't go wrong with this one if you are a Haruki Murakami fan. Build quality, all of that is great. Illustrations are fantastic. Yeah, and together with Kafka on the Shore, we have Norwegian Wood as well by Haruki Murakami. I think this one is even better than Kafka on the Shore. The illustrations are better. So I think there's a chance that the Folio Society will continue making Haruki Murakami books in the same series with Daniel Liovano. So I really hope that comes true. It would have been so good to have most of his works in the Folio Society editions, because for me, he's an outstanding writer. Love his style of writing, his magical realism. I've talked about Haruki Murakami a lot in other videos, so I'm not gonna do that right now. But next up we have the Belgium by Sylvia Plath. This is like a standard edition. It's nothing extraordinary, but I really like the build quality. I like the cloths that the book is bound in. The design is nice, the illustrations are nice. It's just an overall very nice book. So if you are into Sylvia Plath, then this is a nice one to get. And next up is The Call of Cthulhu and Other Weird Stories. This one is also a book you have to own if you are a H.P. Lovecraft fan. The duotone cloth on this book is amazing. It changes color if you turn the book over. The illustrations by Dan Hillier are fantastic. Just a really good fine edition from the Folio Society. The price is quite high, but you get a lot of fantastic bookbinding and quality if you buy this book. And next up we have Roadside Picnic. This is a fairly new release. Overall, a pretty standard Folio Society books. It has some printed edges on the paper. It has a lot of nice illustrations by Dave McKean and a foreword by Ursula K. Le Guin. Overall, very nice edition. Very unique edition. If you're into sci-fi and this type of sci-fi, then Roadside Picnic from the Folio Society is a very nice book though. And I think it's probably not worth it to get the limited edition. I think this one will be enough for most people. And then we have also a recent release that I really have been liking. It's the classic translation by Arthur Waley, Monkey by Wu Cheng, illustrated by Mu Pan. The illustrations are some of my favorite from these past years of Folio Society's new releases. It's a really nice format, the size of it, the colors of the illustrations, this fold-out map. It has a lot to offer, and I think it's one of the great books that Folio Society has published in the recent years. Another Chinese classic as well. So yeah, that was one of those books that I recommend. And next up we have A Wizard of Earthsea, and this one, together with pretty much all the 4 books that Folio Society has published, is a series I recommend. It's although I only have owned this book, the first one, I decided to sell that book actually because I didn't think that the Folio Society would continue with these books, but they did, and so I really want to get these books again when they have published 4 books. And these are pretty much standard books, but they're very nicely built in buckram, really cool designs. So just great books for fans of Ursula K. Le Guin and this world she has built. The illustration by David Lupton is a bit, I think they are, I don't know, they're very unique, they're very, I think that they match the world very, very nicely. So you get a lot of that gritty feel to it. I think that's very nice. Let's check out these ones as well. And the end papers have maps also, so they are great books for the price also. But yeah, those are the fiction books that I would recommend on the Folio Society site. Next time I will talk about some of the non-fiction books that I have owned or that I own, that I recommend that Folio Society is currently selling. So, thank you all so much for watching. See you next time.